Welcome to my friendly neighborhood.
Ah, can you smell that Naka? That nice autumn air, the crisp crunch of the leaves under your feet? The horrible person sitting into the leaf pile waiting to go booga 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 at you.
Oh, of course.
It's the spooky season now.
And funnily enough,
That's why we're playing Story of Seasons instead.
the spooky season is upon us. So that's what we're looking into. My Friendly Neighborhood was a reasonably well-hyped game. I saw a lot of build-up over a pretty extended period of time. And there was an amount of criticism that it saw during development for being like another mascot horror kind of game. But what we got as an end result isn't even remotely mascot horror. It's actually it's almost not even a horror. It's just kind of a charming, heartwarming game with maybe some spooks in it here and there. With that said, My Friendly Neighborhood came out earlier this year,
July,
July,
I believe.
and it was made by a very small team.
You saw them at the start.
Yeah, predominantly two guys, though I'm sure they had help. Got like getting voice actors and whatnot, especially.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of voice acting in this. But
That's
that
half the
said-
reason I wanted us to play this game.
So this game has already done a few things to kind of tick me off. Everything else aside, which is it starts full screen. It was a virtual full screen though, so it didn't like heck up all my icons or desktop or anything. But it also recognized that we did not have a save game on here. The game had never been booted up before. So instead of going to the title menu, it just started a new game. So I'm stuck going into the new game without any idea of, like, controls, it's full screen, anything. And you've got to get in there and wait until you get control over yourself before you can, like, get control of the system back. So I've done some things to make our lives a little bit easier. The game can at least be very dark at times. So I may be coming in and changing exposure and contrast as the game goes on. But raising exposure and lowering contrast kind of in tandem with each other should leave the brights at approximately the same level, but brighten up the darks. So I'm hoping this is kind of worked out for us. Otherwise, mostly I've turned off View Bob just in case that's a thing. The FOV starts by default at 60, which is a good console FOV. I've raised it up to 80. I remember seeing somewhere that like 90 and 90 plus is good for PC gaming, which this game is PC. You're probably watching this on PC. But I typically play windowed, not full screen, and I'm not sitting 3 inches from the monitor. So I've always felt like 90 is a little much for me, but 80 is probably all right.
We're trying to make sure you don't vomit during this whole thing.
Yeah, we're trying to like accommodate everybody. Also added reticle assist just so you can see the little crosshair at the center of the screen. The game locks your cursor to the window. I don't know why. I hate that. But also, it doesn't hide the system cursor. You guys aren't seeing it because I can hide it in recording, but I can see the Windows cursor over top of the normal cursor. And when we get into actually controlling the character, we will be able to see the cursor 100% of the time. And it's a little infuriating.
I think it's just one of those things they haven't fixed yet, but it's also
Yeah.
not like, necessarily top priority.
Yeah. Anyway, with that said, new game. I'm just gonna we just booted it up to get in and test out the controls and whatnot. It's the save they forced me to make in order to open the game.
I saw something. Felt something, maybe. It was more real than reality. I felt like I was lost, walking through this dark tunnel, and the ground beneath me stretched on for an eternity. Felt like I was dying.
He swerved out of his lane, striking a passenger van that started a pile-up, killing 7. In weather, we'll all be sad to see another band of thunderstorms heading toward the city tomorrow night.
I just had this insane sense of emptiness and terror, and I just.
I don't care who she sees. We're not even married anymore. She can see whoever she wants.
It means he cares.
So, Ashley, what did you do to end up solving the problem?
I ignored it, tried to forget. I watched television.
And that helped?
It dulls the pain. You're gonna scare out those two other people, ignoring your own life, your own problems, your own issues.
Choose carefully. Norman is watching. So, I don't like that lady from the talk show.
You know what she reminds me of?
Hmm?
What her situation reminds me of? Whatever one of those terrors from the Magnus archive that you like so much. That it's just like, I just felt so spooked out because I was just in this emptiness and everything, and I'm sitting here going like, what is that horror that I just can't? It's like
The Vast.
I think it was the Vast that I'm thinking of. I guess that's the closest would be the approximation and everything. You know, it'd been better.
The Lonely is also another one.
It could have been that. I was gonna say, you know, it'd been better for that warning if there was just a faint trace of Norman in the background, just to really spook you out.
Yeah, I don't know what her story is, but there's something about her I just don't like. Anyway, we have 3 difficulties to choose from. Presumably 2 unlockable difficulties.
They're unlocked difficulties, so
Yeah. So friendly
Easy.
is. You could say it's easy, normal, and hard, but I like that they describe it as you're just here for the
Okay.
experience.
story, gameplay, and then the hard mode stuff is how I would see it. Like, story would just be like, you're here for story, get it over with.
Yeah, like don't worry about the gameplay or any difficulty or anything like that. You're just here for the experience of playing the game.
Normal would be like the intended difficulty.
Yeah, it's just playing the game as intended.
And then the harder modes are just basically like if you want more, if you played it before and you want a little more challenge, or you're used to survival horror, go ahead.
And then I like the highlight of this will be tough. This is like, it makes it very clear that this is not intended. We intentionally made this much harder.
Yeah, this is more like I just want a game instead of the story to hit all the time.
Right.
So
all that said, I'm just gonna play normal.
Okay, last job of the day. What's this one about?
Sprocket Palm Property Management. Work order request. Client is City Network Broadcasting Group. Property is 123 Sunrise, July 1993. Groupman assigned is Gordon J. O'Brien. That's us!
yay.
Description of problem. Vacant studio lot regained power last night and began televising over-top normal programming. The client has requested that the broadcast array on top of the central hotel be disabled to prevent further incidents.
We're on a lot. This is a television station, so there's a lot. So there's a bunch of different buildings around.
It just struck me weird that it was a hotel, but
it's weird, but it'll make more sense the more we
Yeah.
divulge into it.
Let's see here. Crewman O'Brien is on probation for sullen and... That's us, right? Yep.
Yes.
It's for sullen and impolite behavior towards clients. Failure to satisfactorily complete this work order will result in termination. Oh, now I'm playing Viscera cleanup detail.
The thing was the supervisor's signature. I couldn't see that it was just J. I thought it was 3, and I was like, did he really need 3 supervisors to sign him off on this work order? What kind of bureaucratic hell does he have to go through to get 3 supervisors to sign off?
Okay, so this is pretty simple. We just have to climb up, turn off the network.
Yeah, get to the
thing.
top
That's
tower.
That's
turn
our
off.
day. We can go. We are apparently a surly guy.
I think my question is like, if it's a vacant studio lot that just regained power, why didn't they just turn off all the power going into it from like central stuff?
I think the idea is that, and this is me taking some information that you may glean throughout the rest of the game later on, but I think the idea is someone does still technically own the lot, and it should be, they figure if it just turned on, it should be easy. It's a vacant lot. Maybe some kid snuck in and flipped a switch or something. So whoever owns the property just says, just go back in and flip it back off again, would you? Whereas, like, turning the power off to the lot as a whole would probably be Gordon's call after doing an investigation of the area. And seeing, like, yeah, it's inaccessible, there's some wiring shortages, and, like, it's a vacant lot. Turning off power won't solve the problem if, like, what if somebody buys the lot? What if somebody wants to start something back up? They're going to turn it on, it's going to start broadcasting again.
Yeah,
So,
it was just my question, because I thought, like,
That's-
if you vacant a lot, don't you usually just, like, cut out everything?
yeah, you would be wondering, perhaps, why it's still getting power at all, but you would be very surprised how many vacant lots still get power. And I don't know who's paying the electricity bill for that one, but... Okay, so we got our job. So, starting game, I just want to say, when the game was full screen, I didn't know how to control what was going on. This is a really weird place to put you into controls when you're just trying to find a pause menu. Because right now, escape does not work. You cannot open a menu. And my first thought was, it's first person, mouse controls. But I was moving my mouse, camera's not moving. So what's going on? But then I'd go down here and it'd be like, crap, nope, I just want to click, what's going on? Where am I? How do I just want to pause the game. And, like, now that I've had a second, and I can approach it calmly, like, yeah, it makes sense, it's fine.
I don't know what it is with you, but whenever you get, like, a new game and you don't know the controls, you immediately panic in such a weird way.
I think it's that I just want a space to be able to get used to everything at my own pace. And I don't like that they put you into this, which, when you don't yet have any idea how the game controls, are they expecting me to use a gamepad? Like, when they don't know, putting me into kind of a weird space like this, I've had better first impressions. The game gets better. These are oddities, and the game was made by, like, 2 guys. So I'll point that out. I'm gonna grab me a candy bar.
Ooh, what was that?
I'm not eating that. That's been there for days.
It's been in there for days.
What's what? This?
Right. Well, click that
Down
first.
the war. Last time I stick my neck out for someone.
This right there.
Oh, there's a button there. Oh, it's the hazard lights.
Oh. I didn't know you had hazard lights there. Anything else we can click on? Well, you flip that down. Anything we can get from that?
Doesn't look like it.
Nah, just more flip.
Just flip it back up.
I think it's his ID and picture and everything. In case he needs to whip it out real quick. I didn't know you could turn the hazard lights on. That's pretty
I'm
fun.
not leaving yet. I just got here.
Oh, by the way,
I think there's an ending for leaving
It's
real early.
after you do some stuff in here, you can literally come back to the truck and just leave and get an ending.
So, the game does have multiple endings. I am, at minimum, going to get the best ending.
Gonna try at least.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but
Yeah, I am, at minimum, going to get the best ending. I will try to show off some other endings if possible, but I don't guarantee I'm going to be able to show them off.
let's get out and see what we can do.
Okay, now once you've left the truck, you have
Is always the
more
worst.
traditional controls. It's WASD, mouse to look around, everything's reasonably fine. You can go back in the truck, not that you need to. I can see out the grill.
And
I can't see in the grill.
there's no engine.
No, there's not. In fact, I can see some of the trash on the floor of my... Okay. I feel like I haven't been given this a very... I had a rough...
I know, I've been so trying to not say anything. It's like, you've been way too negative for something so far.
Yeah, I had kind of a rough, very first impression playing the game myself, but I've seen, plain enough, I've watched playthroughs of this game. It is actually an amazing game. So I had kind of a rough start, but, like, take that all with a grain of salt. Let's actually get going. So we can look around, we can see what's going on. So
yeah.
this game plays like a little Resident Evil-like. Resource management is important.
I've heard the comparisons of Resident Evil and kind of Bioshocky in a lot of senses, but basically it's survival horror, so... But with, like, a little more tinge to Resident Evil in some ways.
Yeah, resource management is important, and that also goes to saving. There are limited saves in the game. In that vein, I'm actually reminded of Alyssa. I think it was Alyssa that I played through last year. It technically had limited saves, but saving cost you money.
Mm-hmm.
And you, of course, could use money for a lot of things. So as long as you kind of held on to money, you never really had to worry about paying for saving. And if you needed to, you could farm money. I don't know the specifics of how it works in this game. I do know, I did notice, if you move backwards or sideways, you move way slower than just moving forward.
Well, you do have a quick turn, so you're not exactly, like...
Yeah,
lost
even moving diagonally is slower, which is going to be hard for me to unlearn because I'm an old Doom vet and I go every direction everywhere. I tried to turn that off. I think it's an intentional game design decision.
Okay, so that's not where we're supposed to go, but
I'm still
just
looking around,
explore. Wow, it's so... I feel like it's supposed to be like a mechanic thing, but it's like...
I'll come back to that.
I mean, you could check it.
Yeah, like it's a little... It's a garage. It's not like a full mechanics thing,
well,
but it's a garage.
It's weird because the cabinets kind of remind me more of like a studio kitchen or something.
Yeah, look at that car.
More like a... I think it might be for the lot.
I mean, this looks like garage looking stuff. You got your little thing there with all your nuts and bolts in it. Cans of probably paint.
I know, it reminds me of like, just like a break room thing. Key card reader. There's a lot of chalk on the ground for a place that's supposed to be empty.
Yeah, some kids came in here, break in, started drawing on the floor.
We never really had a lot of vacant lots we went to. Or could go to as kids.
Yeah, there's not really a lot around here.
It's a slot of some sort.
Okay, right mouse button also cancels out. That's
I think it's what it said. You could hit escape.
Yeah,
or right mouse button.
while I was in the car looking at the thing, I saw escape or right mouse button, so I figured I'd try it out here too. And yeah.
Just for ease of access.
Which is nice, actually.
So
I don't have to like take my hands or move them anywhere to like just leave a menu.
Yeah, so that's where we need to go.
In the front door.
Yeah, because that's the hotel that leads up to the antenna. I'm assuming the antenna is on the hotel because that's the highest structure here.
Probably.
So it would make more sense, you know, like, yeah, it would make more sense to put it on the studio, but also the hotel, tall one. Well, nothing to do with that, then.
A length of rope. Oh, it's still very dark down here.
I have a rope.
And keep in mind that I have, in fact, like, boosted the brightness of dark places. I did a bit of testing beforehand, and the brights are... That's about correct. That still looks about correct. But the darks like, looking down here, this was almost pitch black now.
Oh yeah, it's like almost impossible to see. And you don't get a flashlight in this game, if I recall, so...
Yeah, so I may, if we just end up in, like, a real dark area, I may go into the menu and start, like, messing with settings again. Maybe just brighten everything up while we're in there, and then we get back to the light again and darken it again, or something. But we'll see how that goes.
It's weird that the office is boarded up, but nothing else
Yeah, I
is.
mean, I guess it's been abandoned. Yeah, boarded up, though, is different.
Yeah,
That's
it's...
interesting.
You'll find out. We'll find this out, but it's not really important necessarily to know now. But it's been 10 years since they broadcast it out of here.
Ah, that's been abandoned for quite some time, then.
Yeah, yeah. It's just... I don't know. I guess they just didn't find anybody to sell the lot to.
That is some Resident Evil doors we just went through.
There's an elevator. Maybe it still works.
I mean, the lights outside work.
Well, that's not necessarily a guarantee.
Well, I mean, that's why he said maybe.
Ooh.
I will take that for
Oh,
my
well.
puzzle-solving needs. I like how, at this point, he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't know he's going to need to solve puzzles. He doesn't know there are, like, evil puppets or whatever going around. But I just went up and said, oh, that's nice, I'm just going to take that. And then I'm going to continue going up the thing, turn off the thing, and go home. And I just have this weird chunk of a medallion I stole.
I mean, it was broken, so...
I mean, if it's been here for 10 years. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3.
Well, before you hit the...
Bring me.
Let's not hit the bell yet. There's stairs and there's an elevator to check.
Yeah, I'm
And
just looking
elevators-
around first.
I'm gonna say elevator's a story.
Ooh,
I
that
don't know.
ashtray's been there forever.
I don't know about chair.
Hmm.
It's all goopy.
What on earth? Is this glue?
Okay. Well, I'm not going in there. So you said ringing the bell is story?
Yeah, ringing the bell is story.
Okay, well, let's keep looking around then.
That gooey stuff on there. Bungee gum has the property of both rubber and gum.
Oh, hey, I remember this place. This is a, fairly important puzzle later on, I think.
It's Norman. Oh, that's good to know. What's her name?
Junebug.
He's Norman.
Leonard.
Leonard. That sounds like a second stringer.
Liliana.
Liliana.
George.
George.
You always gotta have a George.
You always have to have a Bob. This area is off limits. Too bad, I can't read.
That can't stop me.
That one got dotted, so...
Okay.
Well, nothing upstairs.
Yep, nothing
so-
else. Nothing up my sleeve.
Nothing up my sleeve. All I can do is ring a bell. Ping. So I have a real quick question for you as you ring the bell.
Yeah.
Do you watch some YouTubers on here to do some weird game review stuff? Do you know
Not a
one,
lot, actually.
Raise the curtain. Bring up the lights.
Do you know one
The
named Arlo?
neighborhood is
I do not.
Coming to town.
Hello?
I watch video game
I'm
playthroughs.
here
I don't
to
really
disconnect
watch.
the antenna.
Television's heartbeat has returned. A spirit of cheer brightens every child's eye. The cry goes round the kindergarten class. The neighborhood. The neighborhood.
Okay. I'm here to disconnect the antenna.
I am Ricky the Sock. Your television will never be the same. Hold on.
I'm about to
Did say
punch you in the
disconnect
nose.
antenna?
Yes?
Oh my!
I've seen
no,
him.
No.
I haven't, like-
You
I don't,
mustn't
like-
do that. That would
I've
be a
seen him come by my
catastrophe.
recommended.
It's broadcasting over the news.
That's him.
News?
Ah.
No, trust me. The antenna is just fine as it is. Doesn't need any disconnecting.
That's...
Tell you what, you ain't here. And I'll get you some. Oh, that wasn't pleasant. I'm gonna take a sec.
Why did he have that in him?
Okay then.
Look, I'm here to disconnect an antenna. If y'all don't start helping me out, I'm gonna start breaking things.
Special.
This place is abandoned. I'm sure they will not mind if I start breaking things.
I know the MFN stands for My Friendly Neighborhood, but what is it supposed to be like something else for network?
I don't know. Okay, so I didn't heck with this before because I assumed it was gonna like cost money or something that I don't have.
I guess it just
But
doesn't
it
work.
just doesn't do anything.
Also, would you want to eat 10-year-old candy?
Maybe.
Okay,
Look, sometimes that stuff just stays good forever.
Okay, there's
it
only
has an expiration date on it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, there's a difference between expiration dates and it's been 10 years. Expiration dates are just get it off the shelf faster because people don't realize that stuff doesn't actually go as bad as fast as it does. But, like, there's a difference between, like, I'll eat a candy that's, like, a month after expiration date versus, like, 10 years means nothing to chocolate.
Okay, so the only place I remember a key card going is outside.
Yeah, that was Studio 4. Which I think was the only other thing we could go to. Which actually did say it required a key card, so...
Hey, who's that?
Come back here, I'm gonna punch you. Nice hint that this is where you're going, though. Got a big 4 on it. Nicely visible between the shadows of the trees.
Can you hit tab? There it is. I was wondering when they were going to
But
bring
I'm
it
not
up.
thirsty.
I'll just hit any key.
Okay. Oh, no time for that. The computer started.
Okay, well,
I did it.
you put a...
Good job, me.
Is that a sharp? Is that a sharp note? Is that what's that supposed to be? The hashtag for musical?
Is that a sharp?
I think it's a
maybe
sharp. I don't read...
I'm not musically inclined.
Neither am I. I just remember it's like, that's a sharp or something like that.
Okay, so looking at all of our areas, we have Studio 4, we have the aviary, we have the hotel, we have the public park,
The
office.
And whatever is down that way.
I'm not sure if is anything down this way.
There seemed to be something.
Sewer, maybe.
Like above, next to that sewer. If you go down. Like,
I mean, there's like stuff, but if this goes somewhere, it's the sewer. There's nothing else here.
Yeah, it was just whatever that crank thing's for, but I don't know why you need a crank outside.
So those, at least immediately looking at it, are going to be our areas, I suppose. So, Studio 4 it is.